Greetings, drama enthusiasts, and welcome back to TV Day's Drama Digest. Buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into a whirlwind of mystery, betrayal, and psychological intrigue that's gripping the hearts and minds of fans everywhere. We're talking about the electrifying saga of Philip, a man caught in a web of danger, deceit, and a questionable grip on reality. Is Philip truly lost in the fog of amnesia, or is he cunningly playing a dangerous game to shield himself from the menacing shadow of Xander? Let's unravel this heart-pounding tale together, exploring every twist, turn, and tantalizing clue in this gripping narrative. The scene that set the stage for this unfolding drama is nothing short of cinematic. Picture this: Philip, pale and disoriented, lying in a sterile hospital bed, his eyes fluttering open in a haze of confusion. The air is thick with tension, the kind that makes your skin prickle. Hovering over him is Xander, his hands gripping a pillow, his expression unreadable. Is it concern? Malice? Or something far more sinister? The moment is charged with ambiguity, and before anyone can process the implications, the door bursts open. Enter Kate, Philip's fiercely loyal bodyguard, and Sarah, the compassionate yet sharp-witted doctor who's been by Philip's side through his recovery. Kate's eyes blaze with suspicion as she takes in the scene. Xander, standing too close to Philip, the pillow still clutched in his hands. Sarah, ever the professional, keeps her composure, but you can sense the undercurrent of unease rippling through her. The room feels like a powder keg, ready to explode with a single wrong move. Kate wastes no time. Her voice is a low growl as she orders Xander to leave. "Get out, now," she says, her tone leaving no room for negotiation. Xander, however, doesn't flinch. He turns to Philip, his voice dripping with a strange mix of relief and calculation. "I'm glad you're okay, Philip," he says, his eyes locking onto Philip's with unsettling intensity. "Wishing you a speedy recovery." The words sound sincere, but there's something in his delivery, a flicker of a smirk, perhaps, that makes you question his motives. With a final glance at Kate, Xander exits, leaving behind a room buzzing with unspoken questions. Philip, still reeling from the shock of his awakening, struggles to piece together the fragments of his reality. His voice is hoarse, his eyes darting around the room as he pleads with Sarah for answers. "What happened to me? Why can't I remember?" he asks, his words laced with desperation. The vulnerability in his tone tugs at the heartstrings, but there's a nagging doubt. Is this genuine, or is Philip hiding something? Sarah, ever the calm in the storm, places a steadying hand on his shoulder. "Before we dive into all that, Philip, I need to run some tests," she says, her voice soothing but firm. "We need to make sure you're stable." Philip nods, but his expression betrays his frustration. "It's like I'm trapped in a fog," he admits, his voice cracking. "I keep trying to grab onto something, anything, but it slips away." His words paint a vivid picture of a man grappling with the edges of his own mind, teetering between clarity and chaos. Sarah conducts a battery of tests, neurological scans, memory exercises, and reflex checks, her movements precise and methodical. The hospital room hums with the soft beeping of machines, a constant reminder of the stakes at hand. Kate stands watch, her arms crossed, her eyes never leaving Philip. She's a sentinel, protective and unyielding, but even she can't hide the worry etched into her features. The tests stretch on, each moment heavy with anticipation. What will they reveal? Is Philip's mind intact, or has it been shattered by trauma? Once Sarah deems Philip stable enough, Jada, a sharp and relentless detective, steps into the fray. Her presence is commanding, her questions pointed. "Philip, are you up for answering a few questions?" she asks, her notepad poised like a weapon. Philip nods, though his hands tremble slightly. I'll try, he says, his voice barely above a whisper. Jada wastes no time. Can you tell me what you remember about the night you were attacked? She asks, her eyes boring into his. Philip's gaze falters, his brow furrowing as he searches the recesses of his mind. The room grows quiet, the silence almost suffocating. Then, in a voice that carries the weight of a man reliving a nightmare, he speaks. I remember. Pain. A brutal beating. Fists, maybe a bat, I don't know. It was dark, and it happened so fast. His words are halting, each one seeming to cost him something. Kate, unable to contain herself, interjects. It was Xander, she says, her voice sharp with conviction. He's the one who did this to you, Philip. We all know it. The accusation hangs in the air, heavy and damning. But then, Philip does something that sends shockwaves through the room. He shakes his head, his eyes meeting Kate's with a strange intensity. No, he says firmly. It wasn't Xander. The words land like a thunderclap. Kate's jaw drops, Sarah freezes mid-note, and Jada's pen pauses over her notepad. The room is a tableau of disbelief. Xander, the man everyone suspects of leaving Philip battered and broken, is being exonerated by the victim himself. But why? Is Philip protecting Xander, or is his memory truly fractured? The question hangs in the air, as palpable as the tension that binds these characters together. Let's rewind for a moment and set the stage for why Xander is at the center of the storm. Weeks ago, Philip was found in an alley, his body bruised and bloodied, barely clinging to life. The attack was vicious, a calculated act of violence that left him in a coma for days. Whispers in the town pointed to Xander, a man with a reputation for ruthlessness and a personal vendetta against Philip. The two had clashed before. Over business deals gone sour, a tangled love triangle, or perhaps something darker that neither has fully revealed. The evidence against Xander was circumstantial but compelling. A witness saw a man matching his description near the scene, and a piece of fabric found at the crime scene bore traces of his cologne. Yet, without concrete proof, Xander walked free on bail, leaving the town divided and Philip's loved ones seething. Now, with Philip awake and denying Xander's involvement, the narrative takes a dizzying turn. The lack of evidence has always been a thorn in the side of those seeking justice, but Philip's statement throws everything into chaos. Is he lying to protect himself from further harm? Is he shielding Xander for reasons we can't yet fathom? Or has the trauma of the attack truly erased his memory, leaving him adrift in a sea of uncertainty? As fans of TV days, we're no strangers to plot twists that keep us on the edge of our seats, but this one has us buzzing with theories. Let's break down the possibilities, each one more tantalizing than the last. The most straightforward explanation is that Philip's memory loss is genuine. The brutality of the attack could have caused a traumatic brain injury, scrambling his recollection of that fateful night. Amnesia is a cruel thief, stealing not just memories, but a person's sense of self. If Philip truly can't remember who attacked him, his denial of Xander's involvement could be a symptom of his fractured mind. The fear in his eyes, the way he clutches at fragments of memory, suggests a man lost in his own story. But if this is the case, why does his denial feel so deliberate? And why does Xander's presence in his hospital room set off alarm bells? Here's where things get juicy. What if Philip knows exactly who attacked him but is choosing to protect Xander? The question is, why? Perhaps Xander holds a secret over Philip, something so damning that Philip would rather lie than risk its exposure. Maybe it's a debt, a betrayal, or a shared history that binds them in a toxic pact. Alternatively, Philip could be playing a long game, pretending to absolve Xander to lull him into a false sense of security. The idea of Philip as a master manipulator, hiding his true intentions behind a mask of vulnerability, is thrilling. But it raises the stakes. What happens when Xander realizes he's being played? Another possibility is that Philip is fully aware that Xander is guilty, but is too terrified to point the finger. Xander's reputation as a dangerous man isn't just gossip, it's a fact that looms large over the story. If Philip accuses him, what's to stop Xander from coming after him again? The image of Xander standing over Philip with a pillow is chilling, a silent threat that lingers in the air. By denying Xander's involvement, Philip might be buying himself time, hoping to avoid further violence. But this choice comes at a cost: the trust of Kate, Sarah, and Jada, who are all fighting to protect him. What if we're all looking at this wrong? What if neither Philip's amnesia nor his deception is the full story? Could there be a third player in this drama, someone who attacked Philip and framed Xander? This theory opens up a Pandora's box of possibilities. Perhaps Philip knows the true culprit but is keeping quiet to protect someone else, someone he cares about more than himself. Or maybe the attacker is still out there, watching and waiting for the perfect moment to strike again. This twist would turn the entire narrative on its head, leaving us questioning everything we thought we knew. Beyond the mystery, what makes this story so compelling is the emotional depth of its characters. Kate, the bodyguard, is a force of nature, her loyalty to Philip unwavering. Yet, her frustration with his refusal to name Xander as the attacker is palpable. She's not just fighting for justice, she's fighting for Philip's survival, and his denial feels like a betrayal. Sarah, the doctor, walks a tightrope between her professional duty and her personal investment in Philip's well-being. Her calm exterior hides a storm of worry, and her tests are as much about understanding Philip's mind as they are about healing his body. Jada, the detective, brings a different energy to the mix. She's relentless, driven by a need to uncover the truth, but she's not immune to the emotional weight of the case. Every question she asks Philip is a step closer to unraveling the mystery, but also a reminder of how fragile the truth can be. And then there's Philip himself, a man caught in a vortex of pain, fear, and uncertainty. Whether he's a victim of amnesia or a master of deception, his struggle is raw and real, drawing us into his world with every hesitant word. This story isn't just about Philip and Xander, it's about trust, betrayal, and the lengths we go to protect ourselves and those we love. It's about the gray areas of morality, where right and wrong blur into something far more complex. As fans, we're left grappling with our own questions. Can we trust Philip's account? Is Xander the villain we've painted him to be, or is there more to his story? And what role will Kate, Sarah, and Jada play in uncovering the truth? The beauty of TV Days is its ability to keep us guessing, to pull us into a world where every glance, every word, every silence is loaded with meaning. Philip's story is a puzzle, and each episode adds a new piece, challenging us to fit them together. Is he a victim, a liar, or something in between? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: this drama is far from over. So, dear readers, what do you think? Is Philip's memory loss a tragic consequence of his attack, or is he weaving a web of lies to outsmart Xander? Is Kate's suspicion of Xander justified, or is she letting her emotions cloud her judgment? And what about Sarah and Jada? Will they uncover the truth, or will they become entangled in Philip's secrets? We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.